Hey guys, there's a couple things about our timing that I want to talk to you guys about. There's the ride and the stride. The ride is the ready part, so ride equals ready. The stride is the commitment part, and it's that gravity flow. You have to commit, and the only way you can commit is to let gravity take you. I mean, when you're walking, you're leaning forward and you're catching yourself, leaning forward, running, surfing, skiing, whatever it is. Gravity has a lot to do with the locomotion. Well, when you're trying to time a pitch, you need it to be consistent. And gravity's going to be the same now as a year from now, or 3 years from now, or 5 years from now. So once you're used to committing and landing, because you have to land when the ball's still 10, 15, maybe 20 feet out front of you, whatever that feel is, depending whether it's soft toss or BP or in the game, maybe, in the game's a lot farther. But it's a feel where it is. So when you commit, when you land, okay, let's say it takes, on average, it's about release to land, about 0.5 seconds. In 0.1 second, think about this. 0.1 second is 14 feet of travel with the ball. Now, how do I know that? Well, 7/1000th of a second is a foot at 90 miles an hour. 7/1000th of a second is a foot. So about 14 times 7, close to 100. So 14 feet we're talking about of travel. So if you're off a tenth of a second, it matters. So getting this right matters. You can't be off a tenth of a second and be okay still. You just can't. Because 7/1000th of a second, you're off by a foot. If you go into rotation and start, you're going to hook the ball. You have to be able to hit through the ball. How do you hit through it? You hit through it with your weight. Okay. Now, early on when you're a kid, you learn how to drink fluid, drink water, let's say. So, depending on how full the glass is, you can lean. You know how far to lean it over, and you get it ready to pour or ready to stride. You have to find that position so that you're ready to commit, and the commit has to be a fall. Now, the fall is going to be consistent. Now, you can push off a little bit and commit a little harder, but it will have gravity will be a big factor in it. That's the part that's going to be consistent. The gravity will be consistent. So as you're going ride and you're ready, and then stride, you've committed. You can't stride first. You have your foot reach the ground. Even if you stride, if you have a tentative stride, you're going to kind of reach out more than you commit. And if you haven't fully committed, then your foot doesn't know where to go to land. Let's say you're throwing. When you throw, you commit, and then your foot comes down where it needs to be to support the throw. So same with hitting. It has to be that way. So you commit, and then your foot reaches out even farther than throwing, of course, about twice as far, so that you find the middle. So ready, so like a high leg kick, it's like having the glass like this and going here. So the pitcher is in the delivery. He starts the delivery, here's the high leg kick, then assholes and elbows, release. Well, that's going to be inconsistent. But if you're closer, assholes and elbows, release. It's still inconsistent. If you're on the ground and you know how to find ready, which is right when it's about to pour, okay? So you can feel that, and it just depends on how much water's in there, how much fluid is in there. And you get to learn that. I mean, you know that. If you didn't know that, you'd have a drink all over your face all the time. You learn about where it is so that it comes out smoothly. Because when you stride, you have to flow. You can't just go like that. You can't do that. So what happens is that you don't know when to go, so you get jumpy and then you go like that. But to pour smoothly, you have to find out. You have to find out where ready is, and that's ready right about there. Okay, depending, there's not as much water in there, and so then you pour it. How fast is that water going? That water is going at the speed of gravity. That's going to be consistent. So if I'm flowing, it's going to be consistent. So it's safe to say about 1-to-1, maybe 2-to-1 on some of the high leg kickers, like Manny Ramirez. He lifted quick and then fell. I've timed other guys, and they're much longer, and they go into slumps if they get inconsistent. So if you begin, that's why most hitters, up until, let's say, the late 90s, because then the traditional popular information out there was to get your foot down, some crazy stuff where they weren't coordinating stride and transfer. So players were getting all screwed up. And to fix it, you have to go to a high leg kick or a tall and fall with your feet together and then just fall and then catch yourself. So you have to commit. Well, what does a high leg kick do? High leg kick forces you to learn how to commit and then land and swing. But the fact that you're leaving early is just because you don't know when to start. But if you know when to start, you can do a high leg kick on the ground and be more consistent and more accurate. So it would be more consistent if you're about 1-to-1. So release to land is the same as release to contact, which is a little bit longer than it takes to get from release to home. But it's okay. You can be ready, unless you're going to go release and you're still on the ground and it's kind of about 10 feet. And then you go. So that might be about 1-to-1. 14 feet is about 0.1 seconds. So we're talking about if it takes about 0.5 seconds or 0.4 seconds from ride to land, and it takes 0.4 seconds for the ball, for a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to get from release to contact. From release to contact, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball takes 0.4 of a second. So why would you want to do 3 times the amount of time? Why would you want to take 3 times the amount of time or 4 times the amount of time in getting ready to prepare for it and then hope that you land at the right time? The more time you take up, the less accurate you're going to be to being ready. So if I go like this, I'm not going to be able to pour it smoothly. But if I begin close to this, so ready is getting close to going or close to committing, and striding has to be a commit. You have to flow like gravity. You have to commit so your foot knows where to go.